Most people look at the R107 SL and think it is just a beautiful old Mercedes convertible. But if you know these cars properly, you know there is something deeper going on here. Open the door, feel the weight, look at the way the hardtop sits on the body, the way the bonnet stretches forward, the way the chrome grille stands there, without trying too hard. This was not built like a small sports car chasing attention at every traffic light. This was built like a proper Mercedes, heavy, safe, expensive, and calm. And that is exactly why the R107 matters. That is the real story of the R107 SL. It survived because it understood its buyer better than almost any roadster of its time. The person buying this car was not looking for a nervous racing machine. He wanted a car that felt rich when the door closed, relaxed on a long road, beautiful outside a hotel, and strong enough to still feel like a Mercedes after decades. The reason people still respect it today is simple. This car was built in a time when Mercedes did not just design cars to look expensive. They engineered them to feel permanent. Before the R107, the SL still carried a kind of romance Mercedes never fully repeated. Look at the W113 Pagoda for a second. Slim pillars, delicate roofline, light proportions, almost like a gentleman's sports car wearing a tailored suit. If you have ever stood beside one, you know it does not intimidate you, it charms you. That is why replacing it was dangerous. Mercedes was not replacing a failed model. They were replacing a car people already loved for its elegance. So when the R107 arrived with a wider body, heavier stance, and stronger shoulders, it was not just a new SL. It was Mercedes changing the emotional language forever. Now look carefully at what Mercedes did next, because this is where many people misunderstand the R107. They did not try to build another sharp little sports car. Sit behind the wheel, feel the wide dashboard, the thicker doors, the calmer seating position, and you understand the decision immediately. This car was built for distance, safety, and status, not for nervous corner chasing. The engine was there to give confidence, not drama. The suspension was tuned to settle the body, not punish the driver. Mercedes was moving the SL into a new class, a powerful luxury two-seater for people who wanted control without noise, fatigue, or childish performance theatre anymore. Have a look at this M116 V8, because this is where the R107 stops being just a beautiful successor to the Pagoda and starts becoming a different kind of Mercedes. This 3.5-litre engine was not thrown in for noise or drama. It used Bosch electronic fuel injection, giving cleaner response, smoother power delivery, and a more controlled character than an old carburetted setup. Now look at how the engine sits inside that long bonnet. The whole car feels built around calm strength. The 350 SL introduced a wider, heavier, safer body, a stronger road presence, and a protected fuel tank above the rear axle. This was Mercedes turning the SL into a serious luxury machine, not just a charming roadster. Now focus on why the V8 changed the personality. A six-cylinder SL can feel elegant, but this car feels more mature the moment it moves. The M166 does not need to scream. It pulls from low speed with smooth authority, and that is what makes the R107 feel expensive. Look at the engine bay, alloy V8, injection system, cooling hardware, automatic transmission behind it, and a chassis built to carry that weight without feeling cheap. The extra mass gave the car a planted feel. The power steering made it easy. The suspension softened the road without making it weak. This is why the R107 became more than pretty. It became an adult Mercedes, built for distance, safety, and confidence. Let me show you why this shape still looks expensive today. Stand at the side of the R107 and follow the line from the chrome grille to the end of that long bonnet. You can feel Mercedes pushing the cabin slightly back, giving the car that mature Grand Tourer stance. This is not a small roadster trying to look cute. It has shoulders, weight, and confidence. Now compare it mentally with the Pagoda before it. The Pagoda feels delicate and romantic, but this feels more established, almost like the owner has already made his money and does not need to prove anything. That short rear deck keeps the design elegant, while the clean sides stop it from looking loud or desperate. This roofline is one of the smartest parts of the whole car. Look at it with the soft top down first. Suddenly the R107 becomes relaxed, open, and emotional. The kind of Mercedes you imagine outside a coastal hotel. But now put the removable hardtop back on, and the same car changes character completely. It stops feeling like only a weekend convertible and starts looking like a small personal luxury coupe. That is why owners loved it. Mercedes gave them two moods in one body. In summer, it felt free. In winter, it felt formal and protected. This was not just beauty. This was usefulness designed into the shape, and that made the car easier to live with. Here is the detail most casual viewers miss. We are not looking at the shiny paint now. We are looking at the rear structure. Mercedes moved the fuel tank away from the vulnerable rear end and placed it in a more protected position above the rear axle. Now think about why that matters. In a convertible, you already lose the strength of a fixed roof, so the hidden safety decisions become even more important. This one detail tells you Mercedes was not treating the R107 like a pretty toy. They were building an open car with serious crash thinking underneath. The owner got sunlight, style, and elegance, but also that quiet Mercedes feeling that someone had planned for danger. Sit inside, and you immediately understand the difference between Mercedes luxury and ordinary decoration. The dashboard is not thin or delicate, it is padded, broad, and serious. The switches are not scattered around for drama, they are placed with control and safety in mind. Even the four-spoke steering wheel with that large padded center feels like Mercedes was thinking about the driver's body in a crash, not just the showroom photo. This cabin does not shout sportiness. It gives reassurance. You are sitting in an open car, yes, but the interior still tries to wrap you in protection. That is why the R107 feels mature. It gives freedom without making the driver feel exposed or careless. Do you know what I want to show you here? Not the engine, not the badge, these small edges around the glass and rear lamps. The A-pillars were shaped to guide rainwater and dirt away from the side windows, so visibility stayed better in bad weather. That sounds small, but on a long drive, small things become important. Now look at the ribbed tail lamps. Those ribs were not only decoration, they helped stop road dirt from covering the lights completely. This is the Mercedes mindset. A designer could have made smooth lamps, but an engineer asked, will people still see them when the road is wet and dirty? That is why this car feels intelligent. Now this is where the R107 becomes more than a beautiful body. Underneath, Mercedes used proven suspension thinking from its serious sedans, not fragile sports car tricks. That is important because this car had to carry a V8, a reinforced body, safety equipment, a hardtop, and still feel calm on real roads. You can point here to the springs, shock absorbers, stabilizers, and steering layout, because all of them are working toward one feeling: relaxed control. The R107 was not built to bounce, shake, or make the driver tired. It was built to settle into the road. That is why people trusted it for long drives. It felt like a proper Mercedes, even with the roof open. Here, notice the steering feel, because this is where the R107 separates itself from a nervous little sports car. Mercedes used power-assisted recirculating ball steering, so the driver was not fighting the weight of a heavy V8 roadster every time the car moved through traffic. But the clever part is not just lightness, it is calmness. The wheel does not snap around or beg for correction. It gives slow, measured control, the kind of control that suits a long bonnet and an expensive badge. For the owner, the benefit was simple. The car felt substantial without becoming tiring. You could park it, cruise it, and guide it confidently, while still feeling that proper Mercedes weight beneath your hands daily everywhere. Now pay attention to the way the car sits on the road, because this is where the R107 becomes a grand tourer instead of a weekend toy. The suspension used proven Mercedes thinking: double wishbone geometry at the front, a semi-trailing arm rear axle, coil springs, stabilizers, and telescopic shock absorbers. None of this was there to make the car twitchy or dramatic. It was there to control weight smoothly. When the road gets uneven, the car does not panic. It absorbs, settles, and keeps its body composed. That is why the best line for this section is true. The R107 did not attack the road. It settled into it, giving comfort without making the car feel weak properly daily. This is where America enters the story, and the 450 SL becomes more than just another engine option. Mercedes introduced the 4.5-litre V8 version early for North America, because that market understood this car perfectly. American buyers wanted effortless automatic driving, air-conditioned comfort, strong V8 torque, and the security of a Mercedes star on the grille. They were not asking for a stripped European sports car. They wanted a roadster that felt safe, expensive, stylish, and easy to use every day. The 450 SL gave them exactly that. It turned the R107 into a recognizable American luxury symbol, especially in wealthy suburbs, warm states, television culture, and places where arrival mattered as much as speed in American upper-class life clearly. Here, let the viewer feel why the R107 became a California dream, because this car matched that world almost perfectly. Sunshine, wide roads, private driveways, tennis clubs, medical offices, law firms, coastal hotels, the R107 belonged naturally in all of them. It gave successful people the image of freedom without the inconvenience of a fragile exotic. A Ferrari looked exciting, but it also looked demanding. The Mercedes looked relaxed, reliable, and socially acceptable. You could drive it slowly down a boulevard with the soft top down and still look serious, not childish. That is why doctors, lawyers, executives, celebrities, and television characters fit inside its image so easily. It was luxury with manners, not drama at all for owners socially. Watch the story change in 1973, because this is the moment the R107 stops being only a luxury roadster and becomes a survivor. The oil crisis made fuel feel political. Suddenly, a big V8 convertible did not look as easy to justify as it did 2 years earlier. Owners still wanted the Mercedes star, the chrome, the safety, the rich driving feel, but the world around them was asking uncomfortable questions about consumption. This is where Mercedes had to be careful. They could not make the SL feel cheap or weak, because prestige was the whole reason people bought it. So the challenge became simple but brutal: protect the luxury image while adapting to a fuel-scared decade without panic either. Bring in the 280 SL here, because this version explains Mercedes' answer better than any speech. Instead of killing the R107's expensive character, Mercedes added a smaller 2.8-litre six-cylinder choice in 1974. That gave buyers a different kind of SL. Still elegant, still safe, still built like a proper Mercedes, but less tied to the image of thirsty V8 excess. This was important because customers were not all the same. Some wanted power, some wanted prestige with slightly more restraint. For the first time in this model class, Mercedes offered 3 differently powered SLs side by side. That means the R107 was no longer one fixed idea. It became a flexible luxury platform for different buyers across changing global markets. The next pressure came from emissions laws, and this is where the engine bay becomes part of the political story. Early R107 V8s used Bosch-D Getronic electronic fuel injection, but between late 1975 and early 1976 Mercedes moved to Bosch-K Getronic mechanical injection to meet stricter regulations. On paper, this change reduced power in some versions, and that sounds like a loss. But from a Mercedes point of view, the real achievement was keeping the car desirable while the rules were tightening around it. The R107 had to run cleaner, satisfy different markets, and still feel expensive at the throttle. This is the hidden battle, not more power, but controlled survival under new restrictions without losing status on the road. This is why the R107 lasted so long. Mercedes did not freeze the car in 1971 and hope nostalgia would save it. The body kept its familiar identity, but underneath, the company kept adjusting the machine to the decade. Engines changed. Injection systems changed. Gearboxes changed. Interiors changed. Safety and comfort equipment improved. That is the analysis people miss when they call the R107 old-fashioned. Its design looked stable because Mercedes protected the shape, but the engineering kept moving quietly. Owners received the emotional benefit of continuity without being trapped in an outdated car. The R107 survived because Mercedes understood something powerful. Luxury buyers like familiarity. But they still expect progress behind the badge even when the world around changes. At the 1980 Geneva Motor Show, the SL received a serious update, and this is where it starts feeling closer to the S-Class world. Pay attention to the cabin first. The steering wheel and interior details were brought more in line with Mercedes sedans, so the Roadster felt less like a separate classic shape and more like part of the modern luxury family. Then, the drivetrain improved too. The old 3-speed automatic was replaced by a 4-speed automatic, which helped cruising refinement and made the car feel more relaxed at speed. For owners, the benefit was not dramatic theatre, it was maturity. The R107 became quieter in character, smoother in motion, and more executive in attitude for serious Mercedes buyers. The 500 SL deserves a different kind of respect, because this is where Europe received the serious Grand Touring version. It replaced the 450 SL in European markets and brought a 5.0-litre V8 that suited the R107's character beautifully. This engine was not about childish acceleration or loud exhaust drama. It gave the car stronger authority, better long-distance confidence, and the feeling that the body finally had the power it deserved. On a fast European road, that matters. The R107 could settle into speed without sounding strained, which is exactly what an SL should do. The 500 SL feels like Mercedes refining the idea, not reinventing it. Same timeless body, but with a more complete Grand Touring heart on real European roads. The weight story is important, because people often call the R107 heavy without asking how Mercedes fought that heaviness later. In the 1980 update, the SL received an aluminium bonnet, and the 500 SL went further with an aluminium boot lid and a black rear spoiler. These pieces were not random decoration. They show Mercedes trying to reduce unnecessary weight and improve stability without destroying the classic shape buyers loved. The positive effect was subtle but meaningful. A lighter bonnet helps balance, an aluminium rear lid saves mass, and the spoiler adds visual purpose while supporting high-speed confidence. Mercedes was modernizing the car carefully, almost surgically, so the R107 changed without losing its dignity in front of loyal Mercedes buyers. Then comes the Mercedes-Benz Energy concept in autumn 1981. And this is one of the smartest technical chapters. Mercedes modernized the V8 engines to reduce fuel consumption and emissions, but they did it through engineering instead of apology. Higher compression, altered camshaft timing, improved injection valves, and electronically controlled idling helps the engines work more efficiently. For the owner, the result was not a completely different car. That was the point. The R107 could keep its luxury personality while becoming more suitable for a stricter world. This is mature Mercedes thinking. Do not destroy the character, refine the system around it. The car keeps its calm V8 identity, but wastes less and behaves cleaner without embarrassing the Mercedes badge ever. By 1985, the R107 was already an old car by normal industry logic. But this update is where Mercedes proves it still had discipline left in the platform. Show the front end, the wheels, and then cut underneath to the suspension. Because the changes were not just cosmetic. Mercedes gave it minor exterior revisions, improved the front wheel suspension, and completely refreshed the engine range. That matters, because the car did not need a new shape to stay alive. It needed sharper mechanical manners and cleaner power choices. For the owner, the effect was simple. The familiar SL still looked like the rich, timeless roadster they trusted. But underneath, it felt more prepared for the late 1980s. Now this final engine lineup tells the whole survival strategy in one frame. The 300 SL brought a modern 3.0-litre six-cylinder for buyers who wanted balance instead of heavy V8 image. The 420 SL gave a smoother middle V8, while the 500 SL remained the serious European Grand Tourer with real authority. Then Mercedes added the 560 SL for export markets, especially where buyers still wanted displacement, automatic comfort, and a strong badge story. Show the four badges together if possible, because this is not just a list of engines. It is Mercedes dividing one body into different personalities: rational, refined, powerful, and status-focused. The R107 stayed alive because it stopped being one single answer. The 560 SL is the version many American collectors immediately understand, because it feels like the final rich chapter of the R107 story. Bring the camera close to the badge, then the engine bay, because that 5.6-litre V8 sounds like the biggest answer, but the truth is more interesting. Mercedes rated it at 230 horsepower, not because the engine lacked size, but because emissions equipment and catalytic converter requirements shaped the final output. It went mainly to the USA, Australia, and Japan, where luxury buyers still wanted effortless torque and automatic comfort. This is why the 560 SL matters today. It is not the purest European car, but it is the final American dream version. Now talk about price, because money explains the buyer better than any brochure. By the late 1980s, the 560 SL carried a price around $48,000, which made it serious luxury money, not a casual convertible purchase. That number becomes even more meaningful when you remember what came with it: anti-lock brakes, leather upholstery, an alarm system, and an airbag. So when someone bought one new, they were not just buying sunshine and a Mercedes badge. They were buying safety, status, engineering, and the confidence of owning a car that felt built above ordinary traffic. This was the kind of machine parked outside expensive homes by people who did not need to explain their success. This is where the R107 becomes cultural, not just mechanical. The people attracted to it were not only car enthusiasts, they were celebrities, executives, athletes, actors, doctors, lawyers, and well-situated enjoyers who wanted a car that looked expensive without behaving like a temperamental exotic. German reporting names Kurt Jürgens, Gerd Miller, and Uski glass among the people connected with the R107. And television gave the car even more status through shows like Dallas and Heart to Heart. That matters for your storytelling. The R107 was not just seen on roads, it was seen in the fantasy life of success, nice houses, warm weather, private driveways, and people who already seem to have won. Today, the R107 market tells a very honest story. It is collectible, but not every example is automatically valuable. Classic.com lists the broader R107 and C107 average around $23,852, while the 560 SL average sits higher, around $30,609. But the real lesson is condition. A rusty, neglected car can become a financial trap, while a low-mileage, original, well-kept 560 SL can climb into serious money. Classic.com records a highest 560 SL sale of $260,400 in August 2024. So the value is not just in the badge, it is in originality, mileage, maintenance, color, and history. End the story with the last car because this is where the R107 earns respect. On 4 August 1989, after more than 18 years, the 237,287th and final R107 SL left Sindelfingen. It was a signal red 500 SL, and Mercedes transferred it to the Mercedes-Benz Museum. That ending says everything. The R107 was not retired like a failed product. It was preserved like a chapter of company identity. We cannot give an official exact number of surviving cars worldwide, because Mercedes does not publish one clear global survivor count. But the reason so many are still seen today is obvious. Mercedes built a lot of them, owners loved them, and the car was strong enough to outlive the fashion that created it.